Welcome to the latest episode of Through the Pages. Boy, do I have a book for you today. Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Torkarczuk. High probability I'm mispronouncing this last name. She is a Polish author. This is her sixth book to be translated into English. This one won a Nobel Prize for Literature, which I see a lot of crests and symbols on books of like, it won this award, it won that. Like when I see it won the Nobel Prize, like I'm honestly just like intimidated almost. Like, what did you write? Like was it just equations? Like, so this was a flabbergasting book. It was a mystery. Not a typical, like, well, it had a lot of traditional mystery elements, but it wasn't like a detective whodunit type thing. It had an environmental slant to it, which was really intriguing in a way, and prop that right up there so you can see it sort of. Still figuring out sort of the camera setup here, but I want to have the book like in the shot, so yeah, little side note as I'm figuring things out here. But so yeah, she definitely had I don't want to say political because that sounds so lame, environmental motives in it, and sounds like that's been a reoccurring theme in some of her books. I definitely want to seek out more of them. I think she's written far more books. I think she's written like 15, and it's, from the sounds of it, in Poland she's like a rock star. And just getting over here now, I got connected to this wonderful book by Jared Bartman, who I've recommended or mentioned on here before, has given me recommendations. He gave me Wind Up Bird Chronicle for Christmas and blew my freaking noggin. And so I saw him posting this and said it was a mystery book. I was like, I'm already half in if you say it's a mystery book. You say you also liked it, I'm full in now. And like, so I liked it. Also just like the cover a lot. And I've said it on here before, but like always judge books by the cover. Always. Like just books. That phrase doesn't apply to other stuff. Definitely not people or places or things. Like, but books, of course. Like, look at that cover. Obviously it's going to be a good book. The one I just reviewed, didn't get a good close-up of, Judge's Bible. It's a very cool cover. Very cool book. So, Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. Title speaks to a James Blake line. She translated Blake with a friend in the book. So she basically lives in middle of nowhere Poland, kind of by the Czech Republic border. Very harsh winters. Glad to be reading this in summer. And people start to die in the area, and there's a lot of hunters there. And so this is not giving away the book. This is just what the premise is. But so she suspects that it might be sort of the environment turning on these hunters, and it's just incredible. Like there's a lot of downtime in. It reminded me of For Whom the Bell Tolls by Hemingway in a way that you could say that book is about war, but there's very little. They're waiting, and like so. It's not to say that this is dull by any means, but it's not like it's like a crime fighting novel or that there's like a lot happening. There's a lot of downtime in cabins and dialogue and reflecting, but that's where it soars. Honestly, that's why it won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Like like everything is written so beautiful, and the vocabulary and the everything is just so good. Like it was slow when I got going on it for some reason, just because like I just was still having a sense of the character, was kind of getting her figured out. Like at first I was kind of bothered by her in the sense that she was like uppity, sort of like super vocal liberal lady. And I'm leftist, it reminded me more of Britt Marie, the character from Frederick Bachman. So she had her own book, Britt Marie Was Here, and then that other book, my grandmother asked me to give you this note, tell you something. There's another book that she was in, and so she's basically just like this curmudgeon character. And at first I was like, why would I want to read about someone that's designed to not be liked? And then as it was designed, I started to get into it, and it's like, oh yeah, everyone has layers and all this stuff. And so I really got to enjoy this character and how hard she fought for the things she cared about. being vegan, you know, she's fighting for animals, and she was talking about being plant-based as well, you know, on kind of her motives, not health stuff, just on like, I'm not doing that shit anymore, that's evil, and I fuck with that energy. So I really did grow to like all the characters, really. I found it very interesting, the dynamic of it, and sort of when you live in a place that's sparse, your friend selection isn't so much decided by like, who would I like to hang out with today? It's like, who's within 5 miles of me? Like, oddball, Bigfoot, like the characters in the book. And so like the kind of unique juxtaposition, thinking if these people were in a bigger society, how odd it would be that they're in a room together, but they live in cabins near each other, so now they do hang out. Or like, hey, 3 cabins here, that person died, you and I gotta handle this. Like, that type of dynamic. And it was just very, I liked that a lot, the kind of like mashing 2 people together who maybe wouldn't be. Not to say it's a buddy comedy. It's a dark book. It's like, I have noticed Jared likes dark books. I don't know if he's watching this, but yeah. So I'm stoked to read more of her stuff. Like I said, there's 5 others translated into English. Sounds like she's still chugging along, so hopefully more coming soon. But yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. Ahead of the time, midway through, I thought I had it figured out, and nope. And like, it just kept, it spoke to so much more than what I thought. And it's nice just to read books that are from such different areas too. Like, even though, yeah, like white person, other side of the planet, other way of living, like, it was still very interesting. And like the dialogue and the references and things like that, and what's appreciated and valued. And yeah, big recommend on that one. So I'm gonna show you this cover again one more time, just because I like it so much. Drive your plow over the bones of the dead. Don't be intimidated by the title. It's not horrific. There's really nothing really violent in it at all, which is very rare for mysteries. That's the caveat to finding good mysteries in my perspective, is that I don't want the crazy psychological things like, yeah, Bible verses carved into like the crazy shit. Like, that seems to be kind of more reminiscent of like our television era, like what we need to be like stimulated. But yeah, look back to like an Agatha Christie book. They're not super violent. Like, and this revolves around things that were violent, but isn't like, hey, let's do a lot of violent scenes and looking at those. So yeah, check this book out.